Today, we're going to dive into a really fascinating piece of martial arts history. It's a text from 1928 called The Right Path of Yiquan, written by the absolute legend, Master Wang Shengza. And this isn't just some old, dusty book. Nope. This is more like a time capsule, a window into the mind of a true revolutionary right at the start of his journey. But right off the bat, we hit something a little weird. The translator himself, Andrei Kalish, he opens with a warning. He literally tells us not to use this as a training manual. Now, think about that for a second. It's like buying a cookbook where the first page says, hey, don't actually follow these recipes. It's a huge clue that there's a much deeper story going on here.
And that, right there, is the big question we're going to tackle. Why the warning label? Well, the answer is pretty cool. It's because this book isn't the final word. It's a snapshot in time. It's a master's first draft, capturing this incredible moment in the evolution of a martial art.
To really get this book, you first have to get the man. Wang Shengzai wasn't just another martial artist. He was a total reformer. He looked at the martial arts world around him and, well, he saw a whole lot of empty tradition and not a lot of real practical truth.
And you don't have to take my word for it. Listen to him, in his own words from the preface. You can just feel how fed up he is, right? He was on a mission to cut through all the mystical, complicated nonsense and get back to what actually works in a fight. And this was his first big shot at laying it all out.
So, this mission of his, it's built on a few really core ideas. And one of the most important, one that's just as relevant today, is a concept that sounds kind of backward at first, but it's absolutely central to his whole method. It all starts right here, with Zhen Zhang. It basically means standing practice or standing like a post. Wang's big idea was that to get really good, you don't start with crazy kicks or fancy forms. No, you start by just standing still. The whole goal is to totally rewire your body's strength, to turn that clumsy, weak feeling into something powerful and super agile. And this isn't just, lazy standing around. Just look at these principles. It's all about this subtle internal game. I love this recurring idea of as if. You're in a state of being relaxed, but totally ready. You're not tense, but you're not limp either. You're in that perfect sweet spot. It's about building a unified power that connects your whole body, and it all starts from a quiet mind. Okay, so Wang wasn't just inventing new stuff. He was also taking these old, really abstract concepts and breathing new life into them, making them something you could actually use in a fight. Just take the classic idea of hard and soft force. For a lot of people, they're opposites. But for Wang, nope, they were partners. He came up with this brilliant analogy. Hard force, he said, is like a square. It's direct, it's structured. Soft force, on the other hand, is like a circle. It's elastic, it adapts, and it's used to support the hard force. And check this out. This is how he actually drew it in the original text. On the left, you've got pure hard force, a simple square. But on the right, that's the soft force. He called it square outside, but round inside. It just goes to show you how his mind worked, trying to turn these abstract feelings into concrete, understandable ideas. So, we've seen some of his foundational ideas, but now we get to the big twist. This is the reason for that warning at the very start of our journey. The book itself became a victim of Wang's own relentless need to improve. See, in the book, there's this big chapter all about training qi, vital energy. It's full of classical ideas from Buddhist and Taoist traditions like the heavenly circuit. You'd think this would be a core, non-negotiable part of the whole system, right? Think again. Decades later, Wang's hand-picked successor, Yao Zongsun, just comes out and says it. Wang himself ended up completely rejecting those ideas. I mean, let that sink in. The master who wrote the book later looked back on it and basically said, you know what? I was wrong about that whole section. He literally evolved past his own teachings. And it wasn't a one-off thing. Yao Zongsun points out all these other little shifts that are actually huge. The instruction for the abdomen goes from solid to round. A specific breathing technique changes. And this is my favorite. The famous dragon and tiger methods stop being specific techniques and instead become abstract qualities that you're supposed to embody. This is such a great way to think about it. The art moved from, say, doing a specific dragon move to embodying the quality of a dragon.
its power that you can't quite pin down. It wasn't about mimicking a tiger's stance anymore. It was about projecting its terrifying, focused presence. The art was becoming less about what you do and way more about what you are. So, if the author himself threw out parts of his own book, what in the world is the true right path of Yiquan? What are we supposed to take away from all this?
Well, I think the answer might actually come from Wang's own teacher, Yunshen. He said that as long as you're consciously thinking about your technique, what you're doing, it's false skill. The real magical skill only shows up when your actions become totally unconscious, completely instinctual. And that right there is the ultimate lesson of this book. The right path isn't some fixed set of rules carved in stone. It's the process itself. It's that journey of constantly questioning, testing everything, and having the incredible courage to throw away what doesn't work, even if it's an idea you yourself came up with. So this book, this incredible Master's First Draft, leaves us with a question that goes way beyond martial arts. It makes you wonder, what's a right path really mean if the destination itself is always changing? Maybe mastery isn't about getting to the end. Maybe it's about having the wisdom to just keep walking on a path that is always and forever unfolding right in front of you.